Hello! Welcome to Quickfire English and Zero Preparation Activities for ESL teachers, where we discuss activities that will engage your students but take no time at all to prepare. Today, I'm presenting my favourite activity ever, the SWOT analysis. Seriously, I cannot tell you how much I love this task. Because it works with various levels, because I can use it no matter the theme of the lesson, the SWOT analysis has saved me more preparation time, more late nights, and more stress than any other activity. Today, I'm going to describe what a SWOT analysis is, then I'll tell you the one thing you must remember to make a SWOT analysis work, and finally, I'll show you how I use the SWOT analysis in class. Okay, so what is a SWOT analysis? Well, this comes to us from the business world. The way it works is that in order to determine the current state of play for a company, its members will list and discuss the company's strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, which is what SWOT stands for. Now, this makes such a fantastic speaking task because we can adapt it to the topic of almost any lesson. We simply put the students into groups and have them do a SWOT analysis of something related to the lesson. For example, I've had automotive engineering students do a SWOT analysis of Ferrari, a group of mixed engineers analysed SpaceX, and a group of environmental engineers even did a SWOT analysis of their city's water resources management. During the World Cup, I had a conversation class analyse the national football team, and around Brexit, another class analysed the EU. So, the SWOT analysis can get your students discussing almost any topic. But for it to work, you must remember that although you don't need to prepare for this task, your students do. What I mean is that you can't just throw your students in at the deep end by giving them a topic they've never thought about before. If you do that, they'll just give you that confused student look and the discussion will be awkward and stilted. So we need our students to prepare, but how? Well, first we work with what our students know. And here we have to think about two things. 1, our students' language abilities, and 2, their general knowledge. Regarding the former, we have to think about the vocabulary they are likely to know. For example, I did the SWOT analysis of SpaceX with a C1 group, but it's pretty unlikely that an A2 group would have the vocab necessary to discuss space travel. Next, we have to think about our students' knowledge beyond the language. For instance, if I throw my automotive engineers into a SWOT analysis of Ferrari, they'll manage it no problem because that's their field. But if I was to analyse the same company with business administration students, I'd have to do more to prepare them. Which brings us to our next point, make it thematic. A SWOT analysis works best at the end of your lesson, once you've already done some other tasks on the theme. For example, every semester I teach civil engineers a lesson based on Elon Musk's tunnel boring company. We do vocabulary, listening and reading tasks on this topic before finishing up with the SWOT. That way, the students have been forming ideas about the company for the whole lesson before they discuss it. Okay, next, give students time to prepare individually. I always give students about 10 minutes to write their own ideas for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats before the discussion. If you give them time to collect their thoughts, the students will have more to say and their conversation will flow much better. Related to point 3 is that you can let your students look things up while they're writing their ideas. I let my students use their smartphones, as long as they're doing so in English, to look up either vocabulary or information on the topic they're about to discuss. With students gathering ideas using real text, the task exposes them to real-life English too. Okay, let's run through my standard procedure for this task. Now, you can adapt this however you like. For example, if you have lower level students, you might want to give them more time or assistance, but this is how I usually do it. First, I'll write the topic and strengths, weaknesses, opportunities and threats on the board, and students copy this onto a sheet of paper. Then I break the class into groups of 3 or 4. Next, I give the students time to look things up and write their own ideas individually. Then we have the discussion, and that will last about 10 to 15 minutes. Finally, I'll take ideas from each group and correct any mistakes I heard during the discussion. So, this task has saved me planning late into the night countless times and allowed me to get much more sleep than I otherwise would have. Hopefully, it'll do the same for you. And that brings us to a word from our sponsors. This episode of Zero Preparation Activities was brought to you by Sleep. Sleep. It's that thing you did before you became a teacher. Now, if you got something out of this video, please hit the like button, and if you think the content might help anyone else, go ahead and share it. And if you want to see more videos like this, be sure to hit subscribe. Finally, if you have any questions, let me know. Okay, we are out. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.